Okay, this is actually wild. Anthropic just had the most chaotic week in AI. They're basically turning Claude into a full-blown desktop agent, launching features at light speed, but also getting caught doing some seriously questionable safety pivots. Meanwhile, the Distillation attacks are escalating into full geopolitical territory. Let's break down the madness. Anthropic just acquired Vercept to supercharge Claude's ability to actually use computers like a human would. And the numbers are absolutely bonkers. Claude Sonnet went from under 15% on their OS world benchmark to 72.5%. That's basically approaching human-level performance for navigating software. The Vercept team is bringing serious perception and interaction chops, and Claude can now handle genuinely complex multi-step tasks. This is the kind of acquisition that actually makes sense, because it's solving a real problem that's been holding AI back. Hot take incoming. Anthropic just launched Cowork, this wild desktop app that lets Claude work independently on your computer, organizing files, building spreadsheets, analyzing documents, while you literally step away. You set a task and it just runs, except here's the thing, and this is important. They're explicitly saying agent safety is still in development. So you've got this AI with local file access operating autonomously, and the company founded on safety is basically saying, yeah, this might break, heads up. It's available to all paid subscribers starting today, research preview and all. Claude's Cowork feature now supports scheduled tasks that run automatically at specific times. We're talking daily briefings, weekly reports, recurring presentations, all happening while you sleep. This is the shift from reactive chatbot to proactive automation platform, and honestly, it's the maturity move the industry needed. But real talk, when something breaks in an automated task that nobody's watching, the fallout is way worse than if you mess up manually. Anthropic's betting hard on reliability here. Google DeepMind just released world models that simulate entire environments in real time. They literally react dynamically to what agents do. So instead of training robots in the real world and breaking stuff or costing millions, you get a realistic sandbox to test physical tasks. The applications are massive for robotics and autonomous systems. But come on, we've heard the simulation to reality gap story before. The question is whether these virtual worlds are complex enough to catch edge cases that'll destroy your robot on day one. DeepMind's Project Genie is genuinely mind-bending. You type a text prompt and it generates a fully navigable interactive environment, not just a static image. Like spatial consistency, object permanence, the whole thing. They're envisioning these as training grounds for AI agents to learn in infinite diverse scenarios. If this scales, it basically solves reinforcement learning's biggest bottleneck, getting enough diverse, realistic training environment. But if it doesn't, you've got agents trained in synthetic worlds that completely break when they hit reality. Andrej Karpathy, who absolutely knows what he's talking about, just declared that agentic AI coding has changed software development unrecognizably. And honestly, he's not wrong. Coding assistants evolved from autocomplete to actual agents capable of serious engineering work. We're democratizing development, but also completely disrupting how the profession works. The real question isn't if this transforms coding, it's how fast we can adapt education and hiring practices to match. Researchers just demonstrated that large language models can de-anonymize people by correlating information across multiple online sources. So those anonymization techniques we thought were protecting vulnerable people, not against AI-powered analysis. This is the wake-up call about AI's darker capabilities that we've been trying to ignore. Privacy protections are basically frozen in time, while AI capabilities sprint ahead. We need updated frameworks yesterday, not tomorrow. Okay, this is bad. Anthropic, the company founded on the principle of AI safety, has reportedly modified internal safety policies and testing protocols. No public details, no comprehensive explanations, just a reported shift away from their founding mission under competitive pressure. The AI safety community is understandably freaking out because if the safety-first company gives up, what does that signal to everyone else? This feels like a turning point moment. Perplexity just dropped their own computer control feature, and the discourse immediately pivoted to whether it's safer than Claude's version. I mean, sure, the debate about implementation details is valid, but let's not lose sight of the bigger picture. We're arming AI systems with direct computer access and hoping for the best. This is the feature everyone's racing to ship, which tells you all you need to know about where the market's priorities are versus where the safety concerns are. This is genuinely infuriating and brilliant at the same time. Nearly 3,000 of Google's own API keys that were supposed to be public for Maps now secretly grant access to Gemini endpoints. Google's original guidance said these keys weren't secrets, so developers deployed them everywhere. Then they silently enabled Gemini without telling anyone, which means every website using those old keys now has the Gemini API accessible. Attackers can extract these from source code in literally seconds. Google's own internal systems were vulnerable to this. This is security architecture failure at the highest level. This is the geopolitical AI story everyone's talking about. DeepSeek, Moonshot, and Minimax used 24,000 fraudulent accounts to generate 16 million exchanges with Claude to steal its capabilities. They specifically targeted the advanced stuff, agentic reasoning, tool use, coding. These distilled models don't have Claude's safety guardrails, which means they've basically got Claude's powers without the constraints. Anthropic is calling this a national security issue, and frankly, they're right. This is exactly why export controls on chips matter, if you can just hack around them this way. Qualcomm open-sourced Hexagon MLIR, their MLIR-based compiler for Hexagon NPUs, supporting Triton kernels and PyTorch models. This is actually smart positioning. They're not gatekeeping the tools, they're embracing the community. By targeting Triton alongside PyTorch, they're capturing developer mindshare in edge AI. The focus on megakernel generation and TCM optimization solves real pain points. It's not as polished as commercial alternatives yet, but it's a genuine move toward democratizing edge AI development. The industry transition from digital-only to physical-world AI is happening whether we're ready or not. Manufacturing, logistics, healthcare, transportation, all getting reshaped by embodied AI. But here's the thing, digital mistakes are reversible. A robot making a bad decision in a factory is irreversible. So the question is whether the industry will prioritize safety testing as aggressively as capability gains. Spoiler alert, history suggests probably not. Together, AI just released Codeforge Preview, the largest open dataset for training coding agents. 258,000 test-verified trajectories across over 51,000 tasks. When they fine-tuned QN332B with it, the performance jumped from 23% to 59.4% on SWE Bench Verified. That's a 158% improvement. This is democratizing access to training resources that proprietary labs have been gatekeeping. The open-source coding agent ecosystem just got turbocharged, and that's genuinely exciting. Wall Street's AI rally is basically Nvidia's earnings with extra steps. The market's entire outlook on AI spending rests on the single company's financial results. That's both a sign of Nvidia's dominance and a vulnerability. If they disappoint, the entire sentiment shifts. They're undeniably the infrastructure backbone, but that concentration risk is genuinely concerning for the long-term health of the AI ecosystem. Anthropic's pushing Claude deeper into enterprise productivity. Now it can work across Excel and PowerPoint simultaneously, analyzing data in one app and building presentations in the other with full context passing. That's actually sophisticated workflow orchestration. Enterprise admins get private plugin marketplaces and branded customization. This is Anthropic's most aggressive move into enterprise yet, directly competing with Microsoft's Copilot strategy. The question is whether Claude's underlying capabilities justify the extra subscription cost versus Microsoft's integrated approach. Hugging Face just acquired GGML and the Llama.cpp team while keeping everything open source and community-driven. This is brilliant strategy. They're now the end-to-end platform for both model development and local deployment. As privacy and cost concerns push more users toward local AI, controlling both the model definition layer and the most popular local inference engine gives Hugging Face massive leverage in the open-source ecosystem. The community gets resources and sustainability. Hugging Face gets strategic control. Anthropic released version 3 of their responsible scaling policy with updates on transparency and accountability based on 2 years of experience. The framework uses conditional if-then commitments tied to AI safety levels. Here's the interesting part, though. They acknowledge that the strictest future safeguards will require government coordination because no single company can achieve them alone. That's honest positioning, but it also kind of contradicts the earlier report about them dialing back safety commitments. Mixed signals much. Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro is rolling out with significant improvements in complex reasoning and problem-solving benchmarks. It's optimized for data synthesis and explaining complex topics. The tiered rollout, premium subscribers first, developer preview second, shows Google's managing expectations carefully while building enterprise confidence. But real talk. Success depends on whether Gemini 3.1 Pro demonstrates clear advantages over GPT-4 and Claude in actual real-world applications, not benchmarks. Google DeepMind released a model that more than doubled performance on the ARC AGI-2 benchmark, which tests novel logic pattern recognition. This is legitimately significant because RKGI specifically tests whether models can generalize to entirely new problems, not just regurgitate training data patterns. If this transfers to real-world reasoning, it's a meaningful step forward. But we need independent verification because benchmark optimizations can be deceptive. This week was absolute chaos, incredible product launches, genuinely scary security and safety issues, and geopolitical tensions around AI distillation. The theme, everything's accelerating and the safety guardrails aren't keeping pace. Subscribe for next week when hopefully things calm down, but also probably not. See you then.